Welcome to GLFx Cape Town.
GLFx Cape Town is part of the GLFx Community, an initiative of the Global Landscapes Forum. It is comprised of a consortium of local organizations working across diverse landscapes, multiple communities, and a range of specializations and disciplines. This includes representatives from academia, NGOs, civil society, and grassroots organizations. The chapter intends to offer a holistic and well-coordinated program of events and project activities while promoting collaboration in the sector locally, amplifying the work of existing organizations, and leveraging established audiences and networks. Founding members include the Greenpop Foundation, the African Climate and Development Initiative, Conservation South Africa, Living Lands, ReWild Africa, and the Collective Movement. Stick around to hear more about these organizations and the important work that they do locally.
Hi, I'm Misha, co-founder and director of the Greenpop Foundation. We're based in Cape Town, South Africa, and work to restore degraded landscapes across sub-Saharan Africa. Our work falls within 4 themes. We spread environmental awareness through education, communication, and art campaigns. We help people grow their own food by empowering and educating community and home food gardeners. We green urban areas by planting indigenous gardens and trees at schools and community spaces in low-income neighborhoods. And lastly, we restore forests across the continent by supporting local grassroots organizations to plant trees and assist in natural regeneration and revive forest landscapes. A decade ago, we started with a goal to plant 1,000 trees. A decade from now, we plan to have planted over 1 million trees. Thank you to all of you for being here at the beginning. Let's go restore the planet together.
My name is Skylar Thornton.
Hi, my name is Tariro.
Hi, my name is Ira Farista.
Hello, my name is Yakani Charlotte Mjiako.
Hi, my name is Natalie Kapsa-Sideris. We're part of the Collective Movement, a youth-based intersectional organisation focused on achieving climate justice through social justice.
come out of 3 years of drought now, worst we've had in 100 years. In our local setting, climate change is lived, it's felt, and farmers are probably the true custodians of our landscapes. They're the ones essentially at the front line of this situation. My goal or my vision is to try and inspire more, try and inspire people that have got custodianship to act. My name is Justin Gerd. I'm a co-director of Living Lands. I'm based in the Baviaanskloof, a small part of South Africa, where we're trying to rehabilitate landscapes. We're trying to find a local economy that gives back to the ecology more than what it takes out, and simultaneously allow for landowners to free up spaces of their farms that can have active restoration happen. So one of the things we're trialing in the Baviaanskloof is to plant aromatic herbs and see if we can distill them to produce essential oils. That allows farmers to earn a better income off a smaller portion of their land, which allows us then to rehabilitate and restore the rest of their land. So by planting certain species or rehabilitating certain areas, you could potentially put carbon back into the ground and trade with it and sell it on the international carbon market. A livestock farmer would traditionally be doing one event. You have that same farmer having multiple income streams. So it's more resilient to the effects of a changing world. As soon as you start getting your hands dirty, then you start seeing what it actually takes. And this is a massive challenge. It's a huge challenge, probably the biggest challenge the world's ever faced. We've got to be humble and start doing it. Let's just start doing whatever it is we can.
The nature we see around us is a constant reminder that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves. We are part of an intricate web of life to which we are inextricably linked. And in Africa, we're facing a huge amount of urbanization. In fact, by the year 2030, 90% of the world's population will be living in cities. So it's so important, in order to maintain our health and well-being in cities, is to maintain this vital flow of ecosystem services which nature generates. Nature or biodiversity helps to regulate climate. They're places of habitat for species. They're also places of recreation and spiritual and aesthetic importance. So Greenpop's urban greening program has always been the heart of Greenpop. It's in fact how Greenpop first started. And for so many years we've been focusing on planting trees within cities, obviously because trees provide all of these incredible ecosystem services. But it's such an exciting journey to go on now, especially in Cape Town, as part of our Cape Town urban greening program, is to deepen the work and expand it to not just include indigenous tree species, but this amazing ecotype, Fynbos. In the Fynbos biome, we have over 9,000 species, 70% of which are endemic to the Cape. There's more species per square kilometer than the Amazon rainforest, and on Table Mountain alone, more species than the entire United Kingdom.
The main objectives of the Fynbos for the Future program is to install basically biodiversity outdoor classrooms at schools. It's to connect children with their natural heritage. By connecting people with nature, we are not only helping our environment, but it's also shown that children who grow up in nature, children who have meaningful exchanges with nature, also grow up to be more well-rounded adults. They suffer less from obesity and from ADHD, and it's also shown that their concentration goes up considerably even after they've come back to the classroom. The biodiversity gardens will look as much as possible as something that you'd find on Table Mountain. It's also really important to us that the gardens are accessible to the children, so at any time, so that they can explore, they can touch, they can feel, they can smell. When children are enthused about something, they just go for it head on without thinking. And enthusiasm leads to passion, leads to inquiry. The way we hope that this program benefits the local community is just having the community pull together and engage with one another, engage with their environment, and be proud of where they're from and where they are.
Kids are going to love it. I think the teachers will bring their children out to do reading in the garden, to just enjoy the garden, to actually learn about the plants and the trees that have been planted in the area. So I think it's going to be a very wonderful experience.
Having programs that are run at schools seems to make the most amount of sense, to be able to have access to those particular facilities, to actually teach children, and then also to grow young new conservators for the future.
If we created green corridors within the school grounds and getting the children involved in seeing the birth of something, which you see, children must dirty their hands and must touch and feel to be a part of something. Otherwise, really, to give them all the science or the pictures or something, it's not going to change their minds much. They're going to go back to doing whatever they want to do. But when they see something grow and they're a part of it, starting from the school, they take that back with them wherever they go.
My favorite part of today was learning all these different plant names and just being outside instead of inside of the classroom all the time. I mean, being outside and learning things outside makes you like nature a lot more and you feel free. I feel free. I flew! It's my first flight! I love my new garden because then we can make it bigger and that I can learn outside and more about plants. I'm excited to see how the garden turns out in the future, to know that I was one who created something so beautiful and others can look up to as well as an inspiration. I think that would be really cool.
If you take a look at Kirstenbosch is one botanical garden. And people scream about, how do we get more people to Kirstenbosch? And I have a problem with that. I'm saying, but wait, that doesn't make sense. How do we get more Kirstenbosches to the people? Now that should be the thinking. How do we redevelop on the doorsteps of where people live?
The Namakwa District Municipal Area has been identified as particularly vulnerable to the impacts of climate change, with already harsh conditions predicted to worsen in terms of less rainfall and increasing temperature.
I work for CSA as a gender facilitator, but I'm also a citizen of one of the many small villages in our area where people depend on nature to make their livelihoods.
The Namakwa District Municipality is responsible for the management of a large area of land in the arid areas of the Northern Cape. The NDM is responsible to formulate and implement policies which will ensure the safety and well-being of all its constituents.
The farmers and all people here need to have enough water and healthy rangelands for themselves and their livestock in order to be resilient to the impacts of climate change. That is why it's important to the people in our area that ecosystem-based adaptation is firmly a part of their policies.
We believe that the management of ecosystems and their services to reduce the vulnerability of human communities to both the impacts of climate change at the local level, at local government, and that is very critical for both human and environmental well-being to it. Conservation South Africa contribution is to ensure that it happened in an informed manner, and therefore the climate change vulnerability assessment and the report was produced which enabled the municipalities to target the right resources on those areas that are most at risk and formulate and adopt policies which can drive ecosystem-based adaptation.
Well, the thing is, we humans can't be happy and whole unless nature is happy and whole. What makes us really happy, apart from our own relationships with each other, is spending time in the forest, in wild forest, in a forest that's brought itself from out of itself. We know now from the science that we need biodiversity to absorb carbon, to produce cloud-seeding chemicals, basically to regulate the climate of the Earth. We have to have healthy biodiversity. So, even from a purely functional scientific point of view, we can make an excellent case that we can't have a healthy human society, or a healthy economy, or whatever we want, unless nature is healthy. We can't. I mean, if we destroy all the rainforests and pollute all the oceans, then what's going to regulate the climate? We are nature. We came out of nature. And if we want to have a healthy psychological life, we've got to have a healthy nature. We've got to have biodiversity, wild biodiversity in nature. So that's why it's very important to rewild. It's important to rewild on two levels, therefore. One is we need to rewild so the Earth, Gaia, can regulate her climate so that we can have a happy life. And we need to rewild ourselves psychologically through rewilding nature. Once we rewild nature, we realize wild parts of ourselves that we didn't know existed. Because when you do that, you start to feel the soul of nature. And the soul of nature is your own soul. The soul of nature is the human soul. They're indissolubly connected. So it's very important to rewild for all those reasons.